why do you worship God? Huh? I can't hear you. Okay. Anybody else? Why do you worship God? Not everybody at once. There has to be a reason why you open your mouth and say thank you, Lord. If I just go say, hey, thank you, you're gonna be like, why? Right or wrong? So behind your worship, there's a reason. There's a reason why I worship God. There's a reason why I say, hey, thank you, Lord. Hey, God, I'm happy that you gave me today. What's up, baby? Amen. So there's a reason He created you. So you just say thank you out of the nowhere. Kevin does it sometimes. He goes, hey, thank you. And I'm like, but see, joking around, he might do that. But when I look at that, I see that too. That we do that sometimes. You're like, oh, gracias, Señor, gloria a Jesús, mi alma te alaba. It's like automatic. You've been in church so long that you could just do it like this. Oh, santo Dios mío, te adoro. But the praise has no meaning. It has no feeling. It's like you're singing a song, but you really don't. You're really not feeling it. Have you ever seen that? Or let's say you go to a church and somebody's up here and they're singing, but you know that the words that they're singing, they're not feeling it. They're not living it. It's not part of them. So you can automatically tell that. You can tell how they sing it. You can tell how they bring it to you. Because it's just like whatever. I'm just singing the singing. See, when you worship God, there has to be a reason. There has to be a purpose in that worship. And then behind that person, that purpose, there's an expression of how you express that worship. So, all right. Let me see. Anthony, come up here. Slowly but surely. All right. I want you to express how, if I gave you $1 million right now, I gave you a check for $1 million, how would you express yourself?
I don't know. That's fun, so.
Yeah.
Thanks,
If let's just say you just won the lottery, and you just figured out you just won the lottery, what would you do? He's good. You're tired. I did it. Yeah, his expression wasn't all that good. Okay, he's like, yeah. But if you won the lottery, how are you going to be doing? You're going to be jumping up and down. You'd be like, yeah. You're like, oh, yeah. You quit your job. You probably call your girlfriend and break up with her. I don't know if you guys ever seen that fake lottery ticket. Yeah, the guy did that. But the way that he expressed himself, when he got it, he was so happy. Oh, I won the lottery and this, and that, and I'm a millionaire now. And so he expressed himself like, wow. Christmas morning, when you got that one thing that you wanted for the longest time, how did you express yourself? You're like, oh my God, like, yes. You're probably rolling around in the packaging and stuff and just, going crazy. So when you come to church and you come to worship God, there should be an expression of your worship there. There's a factor there that tells me he is really grateful about God. She really does love God. That's and sometimes I don't see it a lot of times in our youth, because like lots of times we come to church and we're just like the same thing over again, and we come to the grupo de danza because a lot of you guys are ministers in the church already. Look, how old are you? Yeah, no, you're hurt. You're 11? 10? 11? 9? 9? So a lot of them are part of the grupo de danza, and they don't know they're already ministering in the house of the Lord. And they're 9, 10, 11 years old, and they're already ministering in the house of God. That's true. That's powerful. And then, look at grupo de adoración. He helps out with the grupo de adoración. She's the leader de danza. He's the leader of the maestros and stuff like that, the niños. So look at that. Already, the majority of the youth that's here are leaders in the church. So the expression of your worship should be an example. That's why Paul is telling Timothy. He says, no tengas en poco tu juventud. He said, pero sé ejemplo los creyentes. What does he say? He said, en palabra. So when you give your word as a young person, hey, be quick to get it done. If you say, hey, I'm gonna do this, do it. You know what I'm saying? Don't let nobody be able to judge you. On top of that, he says en conducta, the way that you conduct yourself outside of here, inside of here. Be that example. That's why my goal is that, look at this. If you see, we've already filled about just a quarter, almost a third of the church, right, Pastor, with just jovenes. So that means we have an influence, and we can swing the vote, and we can swing the way this thing goes because of the power that we have here as the youth of the church. And so lots of times, man, when I go to a church and there's no jovenes, it's like, man, I don't know about this. It just doesn't motivate me. It doesn't like get me to think like, oh, I want to stay here. Why? Because the youth is the life. You guys are the life of the church. You're the flower of the church. You're what makes the church, just feel so awesome and great because your worship, lots of times, a lot of the adults, and it's not to knock on the adults because they have hard lives and they're working, but lots of times they come and their worship is like forced. You have to force them to worship. But the moment that a young person worships God, it's just so awesome. Why? Because people are always telling us, oh, we're emotional. You're just always in your emotions. You're always thinking your emotions. You act emotionally. You get mad too angrily. But the power of the youth lies in our emotion. The power in our worship lies in the fact that we're emotional. So because that means when I come to church and when I worship, that means my worship is original. My worship is driven by the emotion of love. It's driven by the emotion that I love God and I desire to have a relationship with Him. You guys are kind of catching me. You guys are with me. Man, so I want the youth. I want to see the youth. Even today in today's service, when you come to today's service, I know you're probably gonna be tired. I'm gonna be tired. After I leave out of here, I'll probably get like 2 hours of sleep, and then I gotta go to work. So today's gonna be a hard day for me. But when I come to church today, I'm gonna make it my job to worship, and I'm gonna make it my job to express myself and be an example. Because you know what? I guarantee you, if each and every one of you worships today, and you just open your mouth and start screaming and jumping the same way that we were doing it here last night, and you just start just getting focused in that worship and in that praise, everyone else that's around you is going to be like, man, that youth, I want to be like them. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because, the focus of the church a lot of times is on their problems and on their issues and on their stuff, And so to see a youth that comes to church and they just worship God, they forget about the world, they forget about everybody, and they just lift their hands up and start jumping and shaking their booties and doing all this good stuff just to worship God. So, to see that, it's going to motivate them to do it. It's going to motivate them to say, you know what, I want to worship God the same way that they do. And the thing is, when you start seeing God working in your life, you're going to see the reason why. They're going to see the reason why I want to be like the Holiness. Why? Because when Holiness start putting their hands on people and people start getting healed, when Holiness are the ones ministering for the people that are possessed and demonized, and demons are going to be fleeing out, that's when people are going to realize they need to get up off their butts and do something because the youth are doing it. You understand? You're the generation that's going to change this world. You're the generation that's going to impact this world for God. And the way that you decide to do that will dictate the outcome of what you're going to get. If you're just going to do it, halfway. I'm going to halfway do stuff for God. I'm going to halfway, I like to play with the world, and I like to do this, and I like to do that. If you're going to do that, hey, that's cool. It's your life. You do what you got to do. But if you want to see the glory of God, and you want to see God do tremendous, awesome, powerful things, then you have to take everything you can get and say, I want more. And you gotta just say, you know what, I'm done with the world, I'm done with all the things that it has to offer with me, I serve the Lord. And stand firm in that thought. One of the things is that you think that people respect you because you act like them or because you want to be like them. You know what I'm saying? You say you're a church person, but you do the things of the world just because you're with your friends. They don't respect you. The moment they'll respect you is the moment you put limits and you tell them, hey, this is who I am. This is what I am about. And you need to respect that. And they will. I've seen it so many times in my life where I tell a person, hey, listen, I don't want you to kind of joke around with me this way. I don't want to, I don't want to have these conversations, or I don't want to do these things. This is who I am. I'm a leader. I'm a minister. You know what I'm saying? I love God. I'm a Christian, and these are the things that I'm going to do, and these are my limits. And from that point on, they will respect you. Even at work right now, one of my friends from work, he's like, hey, we go to the bar in the morning, but I know you don't like to drink or nothing, but we want you to just come with us, you know what I'm saying, so we can celebrate, and for your birthday and stuff. But see, just that fact that he said, hey, I know that you don't drink or nothing, but, we just want you to come with us. That showed me that he respects that fact. You understand? So you putting them limits on other people and being an example in your conduct will make people respect you, will make people show you, you know what I'm saying? And the thing is, sometimes people ain't going to respect you. That's just how it is. You know what I mean? And you can't expect that all the time. But you need to put in your mentality, this is who I am. This is what I'm about. And express your worship. Express your worship to God in the things that you do during the day. There's a verse in the Bible, it's in Colossians chapter 3, and it says that everything that you do, do it as for the Lord, knowing that He is the one that's going to give you your pay, that He is going to Él te va a recompensar. So that verse is awesome because, you know, when you go to school, put in your mentality, I'm doing this for God. And I guarantee you, you're going to have all A's. I guarantee you, you're going to be able to focus better. I guarantee you that you know, you're not going to be missing or skipping class because your mentality is going to change completely. Your mentality is going to go to, I'm not doing this for me, or this is boring. No, you're going to be like, you know what, I'm going to work hard at this because I'm going to do it for God and for the glory of God. And see, that's where we kind of strayed away as a youth because, you know, I just want to be in the NBA, you know what I'm saying? I want to be in the NFL. We want the easy stuff. Going to the NFL, making $1 million a year is easy. Going to an 8-year college and getting a doctorate is not. So that's why everybody wants to go to the NBA because right out of college, you know what I'm saying, you can just jump into the NBA and make millions of dollars a year, which is not bad. But see, we've shifted our focus as to I want everything easy. Instead of saying I'm gonna go to an 8-year college and I'm gonna get a doctorate and I'm gonna become a doctor or I'm gonna become a lawyer or I'm gonna be. You see what I'm saying? Where our priorities have shifted to where now I just wanna go play football. Yeah, that's all good and dandy, but you know that, did you know that the majority of football players don't have health insurance? So the reason that they get paid so high is because all the damage that they're doing to their body over time, they're gonna have to pay all that back in medical bills. So you're gonna break your body up, you're gonna destroy yourself, and yeah, you might have money, but how many of you have heard of all these football players and boxers and all these things who had money once that are dead broke now? And they gotta do like dumb commercials and dumb little things just to survive. You understand what I'm saying? And what can they really say they accomplished? You know, yeah, for a season, they were the coolest thing that there was. I remember when Michael Vick first came out. He was like the coolest thing. Oh, man, he could juke, he could do this, he could do that. And everybody was behind Michael Vick like he was the biggest thing. And the first moment that he failed, what happened? Everybody burned him. Everybody said, oh, no, he hates dogs and he hates this. But